I challenged my viewers to paint a Space Marine to the best of their ability.
My name is Matt.
My name's Ash. I'm Luke.
Mark here from the UK.
My name's Chris.
Gomisa here from Chile.
I'm Jake.
I'm Sam.
And the best work gets $1,000 to spend on their hobby supplies. But here's the kicker, they don't know it. To have a chance at winning, they must paint a Space Marine Intercessor without a helmet and use magenta somewhere on the mini. Why magenta? Well, I don't know, it's cool color. And all bases need to have at least 4 different textures. That means that my own Space Marines wouldn't actually make it. So, how are they gonna approach this?
I'm planning on painting it in the style of the Imperial Fist.
So I watched Arcane. I liked the colour of the shimmer.
The magenta is going to be like a point of tension.
The Marine has been fighting orcs, trying to make the base something to do with that.
I'm going to have magenta elements on the plasma pistol.
I'm gonna paint like 5 different faces and just pick whichever the best one is. Do something sort of with a snow theme.
Richard Gray style Blood Angel.
I gave these guys 2 weeks to finish their creations, and now it's time to judge them. And if you are wondering how am I able to afford prizes for top 3 painters, because let's face it, all my money is in minis and paints, well, this video was made possible because of today's sponsor, NordVPN. Now cybersecurity is no joke, and with advancing technology and growing number of data leaks, it's more important than ever to protect yourself. In the past, I had multiple instances of someone trying to access my Gmail account, and as a YouTuber, let me tell you, that stuff is scary. So using a VPN is essential to avoid these problems. NordVPN encrypts your internet traffic, hides your IP address and virtual location, so even if you connect to unsafe public Wi-Fi, with NordVPN, you are safe. However, my favorite feature is that now you can access region-locked content and websites. Do you wanna watch YouTube in China? Well, too bad. Unless you got VPN. Do you wanna watch British exclusive Netflix shows? Simply click on the server you wanna connect to, and that's it. So today, NordVPN is offering you guys 2-year plan and 1 month for free with a huge discount if you use the link in the description or go to nordvpn.com/Zumikito. By the way, if you are not satisfied, there is a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you don't risk anything. Once more, go to nordvpn.com/Zumikito. Thank you NordVPN for sponsoring this video and making it possible. So now that we got all the results, it's time to rank them and choose the winner. We got total of 9 entries and there is a lot of feedback that needs to be provided. And for this work, I need a team. We are currently in Wingsmooth Painting Studio and we got some judging to do. Meet the first of our judges, Vladia. As the owner of Wingsmooth Painting Studios, tens of thousands of models went through him. He knows how to paint fast, he knows how to paint well, he knows it all. He even painted for big name clients like Mini Wargaming Studios. IT guy by day, Golden Demon winner by night. Meet Thomas. Thomas paints only a few miniatures every year, but boy oh boy, is it worth it. With 5 Golden Demons under his belt, he is more than qualified to give us feedback. But remember, this is their opinion, and if you enjoy your hobby, that's what matters. And with that being said, let's look at the first one. Initial thoughts.
Very solid base. There's nothing particular that stands out. For example, I would use like a lighter color for the edge highlights, a little wash in the aquila. I like the magenta grenades.
More variety to the surface. Yeah. Details, it's better to paint in different colors or different materials.
Yeah, I think that it's a little bit plain, but solid paint job.
There was some mistake in base sculpting because it's a little bit grainy in the surface. To colors, I think that the problem of this Marine is that it's only green.
Execution of the edge highlight is very well done.
It's hard for me to point something what I like because it's hard to me to please. I hope he will paint more and try to improve.
That kind of happens.
Be too more consistent and try to improve. The surface is grain. Be careful on the first layers. Marine is not in the center of the base. I think that this is essential. It should be in the middle.
Hey, Zumikito from the future. So whenever I feel like I have something to add, I will just pop in and say it. So in this case, I truly think that some mistake happened during priming because you can see some inconsistencies like right here, for example, even the knee. And the last thing that I want to mention is that probably the face could have some more tones and colors added. And with that, we can move to the next one. Okay, initial thoughts?
Oh, this is nice, very nice.
Very good face.
Nice face, and textures on the leather, so yeah, nice.
The blending of the armor, it's very good. Mostly here, here, and it's very well done.
I like that he tried to shade the armor. I like that he tried to paint textures, even if they are very simple. Sometimes it is better not to complicate things and paint things simpler. I like the face, contrast on the skin tone.
So if there are like things that you in particular don't like?
Yeah, the lack of edge highlights. Even on the black, there's nothing here.
I think that he can be more precise. Try to be more precise and calm. You know, miniature painting is about precision. Even if you hurry, every touch counts. For me, it's essential to edge highlighting. Edge highlighting is, I think, the essential for me.
You can move on to another.
I just want to say that the face is very good. The OSL is very good.
Grimdark in all glory. On this example you can see that it is not so precise work, but the effect is very nice. I like the battle damage.
I like the OSL. Like,
OSL, yeah.
Especially on the places where it's like far from the source, you just add little bits.
Yeah, this is exactly the nice example of that effect.
3 things that you don't like?
Yeah, like some sloppy edge highlights here.
Edge highlights on the backpack on that part are very hard. So if I can say what I don't like, hard to say. I think that overall it's very nice job. So.
Maybe here I would use like a little bit lighter color to give volume to the knee. I would give him tip to use a sponge for the damage. For the battle damage.
I contrary, I don't like the sponge.
I just want to mention that whenever you are considering special pieces that have this unique style, in this case it's properly executed grimdark style, you know, it's kind of hard to know if some brushstrokes are actually intentional or if they are just messy. So in this case, for example, there is this edge highlight and there is slight gap right here, and you cannot really tell if this is supposed to be here, but overall it looks great. And because we don't have any specific judging criteria, we are looking at the overall effect, and in this case it's awesome.
Base is a little bit busy. Marine is not in the center of the base.
There was a lot of love put into the base, but maybe sometimes less love is good.
It doesn't help. The position of the Marine is not helping the overall effect. I like that he drew the barrel of the gun. Sometimes you can see that very nice painted model have no drilled barrels.
And they can win golden diamonds.
Yeah,
you know?
Sometimes. Never give up. You can improve in many aspects. Main focus should be more precise. Try to learn better brush control. Good start for every painter. Try emulate the heavy metal style. If you paint heavy metal style, the edge highlighting is essential. Edge highlights is very good for your brush skills, because edges are not usually on the good place for painter. Splattered blood, I think that the splattered blood is a very nice effect, especially on the blue armor. Plasma effect on the gun is nice. Face is a little bit plain.
I like the messy side of it, of the edge highlights. I think they're okay, maybe a little lighter than should, but I think it's okay.
I think that another edge highlight, another level of edge highlight.
Maybe do a little bit more color variation in his face.
Yeah. Face is a little bit plain.
Now to add my 2 cents on this Space Marine, you can kinda see why I decided to keep all the heads without the helmet. And in this case, it's not like this face is ugly or something, there is just not too much going on here. So for example, I would make the recesses a bit more darker, add some shades under the cheekbones, and basically there are 2 ways that you can do this. Either start really dark and build all the volume from there, or you can start light, use a wash, and then simply highlight it. The latter is a bit faster, so if you are painting an army, that's what you want to use, but if you are painting for quality, you want to use the first option. What do you think?
Yeah, there's some grainy airbrush stuff. I like the helmet, the base, and the face.
Water effect is very nice. I like the transfer sheet. The face has some nice shading. Eyes looking on this one direction. Painting eyes is a little bit challenging for some people.
This bolt pistol, I would leave it just red. Highlights are like too much. I use lighter color for edge highlights because
like be more aggressive?
No, I would always be more aggressive, but in this case, the edge highlights are invisible on most parts of the model. Here you can see there's basically nothing, but if you look very close, you can see a blue line, which is basically the same as the highlighted part of the armor, in same color everywhere, and it's only visible on the darker parts. I would recommend to use lighter color for edge highlight in this piece.
Okay, so initial thoughts?
The OSL is very good and the base is awesome.
Base looks good, but unfortunately out of focus. He tried to make some freehands. He should be more precise.
I would say I would use normal metal. This yellow it's supposed to be probably non-metallic metal, but for me it doesn't look that good. And this part, it's not the most important part on the model, but like for example here you can see nice gradient and knee is looking very good, but the thigh is basically like he forgot about it. It's very visible part of the model should not be finished or taken care of.
Another essential part of the painting is consistency, that all parts are equal painted. He should focus on basic techniques and use true metallics for beginning.
First thing on your mind?
Good usage of the magenta.
And I like the effect on the surface of the armor.
It's
Another grim dark. I like it. It's properly painted with oil wash. Face is really nice. With exception that the cheek is a little bit strong.
Rough.
Strong
transition. As I said, the magenta, I think the usage is like smart.
I like the limited palettes. Better damage on the armor, and the face is nice. Tones are a little bit plain, so maybe another highlight, even with dry brush.
And it's bad that like it hinders the view.
If you put something big on the base, it's better put it behind the miniature.
If there are like one or two things that he can work on, so he can improve, what would it be?
This you can say to everyone, like improve your brush control and things will blossom. In this case, I would recommend to use like chrome color or silver metallic and use it for edges here and here.
Yeah, for me, I think that even that face is nicely painted. I think that some parts should be improved, and maybe there should be another highlight on the top of the forehead. More light on the forehead, I think.
First thing on your mind.
Cyberpunk in Warhammer.
Colors are nice. I think the effect on the armor is a little bit too much for me, but frozen effect.
On some parts, it's really awesome. For example, this shoulder pad, it looks like wet plastic bag. It maybe fell off or something. But for example, here or here, it looks very, very cool. I would maybe use a little bit less of it.
I must say that I'm not a fan of that effect. On the weapons, I think that the colors are nice.
Base is awesome. I like this effect of the cracking ice, a little bit of grass, and it's cool that the glowing parts of the plasma, they don't have the frost because they're too hot. Painting lightning effects very hard. I don't attempt it if I don't have to. The hammer would look better without these. Even for experienced painter, doesn't have to always look good. Be more consistent with the edge highlights. Long bristles, small brush, and consistency is like really close to dry brush. Try this and the lines will be just crisp.
And that's it from our judges. But we still have to decide who gets $1,000 for his hobby supplies. We had a long discussion between our judges, but in the end, we came to a conclusion who the top 3 places are. So first of all, I wanna genuinely thank you for participating in this contest. It's great that we could make this happen. The big question, of course, are you the winner or not? What do you think?
No. I don't know. I saw the jobs of the people and I think they were great.
I think looking at the others, not winner.
I don't know.
Unfortunately, you didn't place in the top 3.
Hope to bring it harder next time. The other guy, there were some other guys that were pushing some wicked models.
We eliminated 6 entries and only 3 are left. But who gets to be the winner? I told everyone that prizes are a surprise. What do you think the prizes are?
I think it could be brushes, paints, or miniatures.
Third place gets $250 for their miniature hobby supplies. Second place, $500 for their miniature hobby supplies. And first place gets $1,000 for miniature supplies.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's big.
So I can tell you right now that you are third.
That's so awesome.
And only 2 are left. Who will it be? You are, in fact, first, and you get $1,000 for your miniature hobby supplies.
Oh no! I'm shocked. Don't consider myself like a good painter. I think I always need to learn more.
You are actually second, and you won $500 for your miniature hobby supplies.
I cannot believe that I win.
But what should people watching right now do?
Subscribe to Sumikito.
You heard it here first, folks. Subscribe and bye.